This clip is sponsored by American Mobile. If you're a nurse interested in traveling, visit americanmobile.com to get started. We can start with camp, like summer camp, and like what a typical day would look like for a summer camp nurse, and kind of like responsibilities, and then we'll get into travel.
Absolutely. So the health center, we have a full health center where the nurses live and eat, sleep, and breathe.
Yeah.
So they're there all the time, the health center. So they start their day off with morning medications. So you're typically, as a nurse, you're assigned to a cabin or a 2 or 3 cabins of kids. And so those are the kids you're responsible for. And then there's an alternate nurse for your days off during the week, right? So those kids really, they know their nurse, they trust their nurse, and we want that. We want them to build rapport with their nurse over the, weeks that they're there.
Yeah.
So that they feel safe coming to them with any issues, any problems, etc.
Yeah.
So you start off with morning medications, and that's in the dining hall at breakfast. Most med passes are at meal times, and then the other med passes are up in the health center. So nurses come down for their cabins, and you sit, the kids sit at assigned tables at the dining hall. So they're always sitting with their cabin, the bunk. So it's pretty easy to find them typically, unless they've, I've got to go to Horseshoe early, which is like playtime right after. And then the nurse is like, can somebody go chase down Jimmy so-and-so?
So, yeah.
To come back and get their medication. So, yeah, morning med passes at breakfast, and then we have mid-AM med pass. So any kids that have morning medicine, their counselor knows that. They've been notified by their nurse at the beginning of the session. And so they bring them up to the health center to get their mid-AM. And then there's lunch med pass. So that's at the dining hall as well. Same thing. You're assigned to your cabin. And then there's dinner, or there's mid-afternoon that's up at the health center again. And then there is dinner medication pass. And then also there's nighttime medication. So many of our kids have ADHD and, racing mind syndrome. So many of them are on melatonin, or in other medicines that are at night as well. And so for that, we have nighttime snack. And so kind of like the snack wagon comes around to all the bunks at night, and the nurse comes right during or right after the snack, because many kids need food to take medication alongside. And so they come to the cabin at night, and while the kids are in their PJs or getting ready, and for circle time, because we do like a high and the low of the day, like sitting in a circle, and the nurse usually pops in around that time, and they like to say their high and the low. And so they're really an integral part. You get really close to your cabin. They know, their kids like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
These nurses
all
are
the health
amazing.
histories of everyone. I mean, that's one of your responsibilities, is to, understand, just the background, the stuff that isn't really, ever present at camp, per se, but like, all of that stuff in the background. So that's one of the things. And that certainly pertains to travel, to the travel aspect too. Like I want to say, how early before travel do you get to camp to do like prep work?
Usually 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
You get there because, it is a mass amount of medication. And as you can attest to, most nurses like to pack that out for at least the first 5 to 10 days. Yeah, you can explain the packing out process.
Yeah. So packing, like 3 to 5 days beforehand, you'll get you'll kind of make your binder. Your binder has all of the kids' health histories, medications that are on file. You'll put your nursing license in there, your certifications. You have a letter from the camp physician. This is for travel, but packing kind of everything that you're going to need, your medical, bag. And you'll also pack, it's like a duffel bag and it's like, or suitcase, or, whatever we're using. And, you'll have like, you'll take supplies from the medical center. So you'll have like your PRNs, as needed stuff. You'll get, first aid stuff. There's, you have access to whatever you need at the medical center to like, pack what you need. But packing medications is, so you get like sheets of medications. If people have done like home health before, they'll see, you get these sheets or like rolls of medications, and you want to pack, you package them so that you know who gets what at what time of day. So like I would have a large baggie of all of my campers that take, morning meds. And then each camper with morning meds would have an individual mini baggie that would have like the 5 rights on it. So like their name, the medication is, the dose, the route is always like by mouth, and then the time. And then I would have a large bag for every time of day. So like morning, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, dinner, nighttime for every day of the week, which is like a bigger bag. And then, so you kind of do that for, the first 5, 10 days of the trip to get you through so that you have these like individual bags. And then when you want to go out for the day, you know, like, I would only pack the times of days that I would need in my backpack. So if we went out, let's say after breakfast, and we were going to be gone until, after dinner, I would take out just that bag for, Tuesday. And I would pack mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, and dinner meds. And I would already have those like already, made in the baggies. I would just put that like in my backpack along with like first aid stuff, Tylenol, Advil, Pepsid, EpiPens, just whatever you needed, and your binder. That's kind of like that's how you would pack each day. But, packing each individual, camper's meds and stuff, it does take time. I think I remember it took me a while the first time I did it on travel, but like, then you kind of get the hang of it. And then like the longer you go on the trip, like the less medications there are. So like the less load you have to carry. So, but yeah, that's essentially, packing.